tops on one, the subs on the other side, and then these are your two different monitor mixes. So what they probably did,
too much top.
Yeah.
one, they either cut the lows and crank the highs.
Yeah.
Hear that right there? And it kind of sounds, really bad.
Yeah.
You know.
It's hollow.
So what you can do is you can go back to 12 o'clock, which is why I set the EQs the way I do. That is the beginning stages. And then if you want more lows, you just keep bringing the low end up. Or if they've got a, kind of a muted sounding like this, you can just bring the highs up and bring your mids up a little bit. Now, the sweepable mid, I know that you understand that, but you can select anywhere from 250 hertz, which is towards quarter of the way up on the low end, up to 5K. So and this adjusts your gain on that. So listen to this: 1 1 1 1. You hear that? That's about 4. No, that's 5K. So it's probably about 2K. 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. Now you're down to about 250. It's kind of sounding muddy. 1 1 1 1 1. So what we do is we just split the difference. But if you got someone that you really need to just clean up, I usually will leave that somewhere around 4K, or let's say 3K, 1 1 1, and slowly bring the gain up to the right. 1 1 1 1 1. Now it's starting to get some cut, but if their voice is muddy, the cut works good. It doesn't work good for mine. So if it gets just way out of whack, you can start back at...
Just go back to the midpoint.
Yeah, 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock on everything down through there.
On everything, and then you adjust your highs. Really, your highs and lows will be your main thing.
Mostly, people ought to leave this sweeping frequency alone.
I think so.
Yeah.
Just leave it at 12 o'clock.
And that way you can work these. If that don't work, they're not too good anyway.
Right. Exactly. So basically, and I'll go through that again, this top row here, white knobs, are your gain knobs.
That's another thing that kind of got out of whack in here.
Yeah.
One day I saw.
If those are out of whack,
I think that they didn't have it here, and they were trying to
turn it up.
here.
Right.
Then when they went and pushed this up,
right.
See,
it'll do that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because you got to understand these and this to work together.
Right. Which I'll show you right here. This button that says PFL, which means pre-fader listen, you push, and those are all down. Wow, that's kind of bad. Make sure. So here we don't have any LED, right? So now we do 1 1 2. Your goal is, I got all the amps and everything set. You don't want to see the 0.
Yeah.
That's unity gain. 0, all this is 0. So what I try to do is when I set up a system, everything's at unity gain. I get all that set, and watch this right here. Let me turn this down. 1, just so you can see this right here. As I bring number 4, which is the mic I'm on, as I bring this up, 1, is that the right one?
I don't think
No,
no.
I'm sorry. I'm on 5. 1 1 1 1 1. See how I bring that up right there?
Yeah. And you don't want it to go yellow.
No, you want it to.
Cap it.
You want it to stay.
Listen.
That the first yellow bar is 0, and that's where you want it. Whoever's speaking, you would hit the pre-fader listen, and the rest of them up, and you would turn this according, so that whenever I'm talking, it normally just hits kind of around 0. So that when I bring this up right here, that is about where it's at. 1 2. You're not going to clip out, And so everything, because you got your volume, so I've got my volume in here set on my amps, but everything is set to unity gain, so you should never clip out. 1. See how that comes up, but you never heard it distort. Now we got close, we were peaking, but it never distorted. If that sucker was cranked up just a little bit more and I did that, it would start honking out there. So unity gain is it's a serious thing, but it's all kind of set, and it also, if the voice kind of sounds like this right here, well then you're going to have to turn it on up to get that level to where it needs to be, But you get the next guy coming in here, bearing down on it, it's going to be. And this also affects your monitors. So if you crank the unity gain up, your monitors are coming up along with it. So your gain structure is so important that we almost need to stick a cover right over that, you know.
Are they set the way it should be?
Yeah, I think 1, 2, of course, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's about right, and that's my vocal. So 4, and then
This might be down, I don't know.
I think
That's
I've
Bailey's.
got that
I
down.
think that's exactly.
I think I got
for
that.
daily, right?
Yeah, for the pulpit
yeah,
mic,
for
and that's
pulpit,
always usually have to cut it
Yeah.
because
It's
that's
so
a hot
sensitive.
mic. Yeah, it's a condenser mic. So, but the beauty of it is you still have from 0 to the top. You have 10 dB gain right there. So ultimately, unless you just got someone in there, you don't. You can just go ahead and just crank this on up right there without touching the gain knob here. So so that's about right. Now 9 and 10, 9, 10, 11, 12, those need to be cranked to the left hard because your tracks are sometimes just depends on the master.
Master, yeah.
If it's a driving track and then you don't really need